Now, I've played just over 10,000 hands here in Ignition over the last 30 days, and it's actually between like 10 and 15,000 hands. And you may be like, okay, man, that's not like a ton of volume, but to me, it's a decent amount, and it's also playing mid stakes. Now, I do have another good one to go over here, but I do want to go over three things you guys need to know if you are gonna, check them out. Also, want to let you guys know, we do have an awesome community. If you're kind of like struggling at whatever stake you're currently playing and you kind of just hit a wall, you can talk with me, other high level members, and that's going to be in the pinned comments. So definitely check it out. Also, if you guys could tap the like as we're getting into this, and let's do our thing. But the first thing I want to talk about here is that players don't necessarily get better as you move up in stakes, right? You would think that it's going to be a lot tougher, going from one stake to the next. But what I found playing on here, and this is like over the years, is that the games really don't change a whole lot from playing, for example, like 100 NL to like 500 NL. Now, when you get up a little bit higher than that, obviously the players are going to get better. So your skill set does need to develop and get better as well. But it's not very significant. All right. And the next thing is that playing late at night is when things are easiest. So this really, if you think about it, it does make a lot of sense. Now, if you play during the day, you got to understand like people are going to be freshest during the day. So like, their minds are going to be good. They're not going to be very tired and they're kind of be like locked in and focused. But what I found is that when you start playing like 9 p.m. all the way to like 4 a.m., that's going to be really the best time to play. You got people who've been playing all day. They start to play terrible. They just don't want to quit for the day, and I get it. But if you're playing during the day a lot, I do recommend trying to switch to late at night and see if there's a difference, because I can tell you guys from doing this for as long as I have, there's definitely a difference. Okay, so competition easier late at night. That's all you got to know. And really, the other thing here is that variance is real. Now, it doesn't really matter where you're playing this game, especially online. It's that you're still going to deal with the same nonsense of your aces getting cracked to pocket queens, pre-flop going all in, those kind of things. It's just part of the game. But when you learn to accept that and you can handle your emotions, that kind of takes you to like the next level, and that's where you want to get. And that's just another reason I keep telling you guys, man, get in the community, pin comment. Those are really the three things, but I do want you guys to stick around because we do have a really good one to go over here, and you're going to see that we're going to take one tough beat here, but we're going to kind of like bounce back, but it's going to get good. So sit back, enjoy it. Got any questions, comment below. I'll get back to you, but I feel like I've been playing this game long enough and doing this long enough where I can really give you guys some insight. You know what I mean? Anyways, here we go. Ace 5, I am going to be protecting here because, definitely a hand you're going to be protecting. Especially if you look at like a GTO chart, you definitely defend here. You could argue raising, depending. But we did pair the ace. Turn card was a 4. We still have top pair here, and I'm not really convinced this guy has us. So we did check it to the river here, deuce. And I believe I am going to go for some value here. We're targeting maybe like a pair of kings. Maybe he's got like an overpair like 9s or 10s and he doesn't believe us. He thinks we're bluffing. Whatever he had, we made the right call there and got a little bit of value out of that. So that was pretty good. Next hand we had a queen 6 suited. I think I played this one. Let's see. Let's take a look at the players of the table. Player 2 is doing pretty good here. As you guys can see, he's definitely kind of doing his thing. We called him on that. We got him on the last hand, but he's doing pretty good, and we're kind of like working our way up a little bit here. Player 5 is kind of working his way up. I like to take a look at the players of the table, see who's doing good, who's not doing good, to start things off here. And usually, if you're sitting at a table for like 20 to 30 minutes, you can start picking up on how people are playing, and kind of get a feel for it. Now, we got raised here. I actually just let this go. I could have called, but I was kind of leaning towards just folding because player 4 was playing pretty tight. I did pick up on that, and I was kind of like, do I really want to continue here? I just let it go. Could have gone either way. I just wasn't feeling it, so I just said, you know what? Whatever. Whatever. All right, Jack 8, going to be folding this. And, for the most part here, not really getting too out of line. I am going to throw in some bluffs coming up here, but for the most part, playing pretty solid and not getting too out of line, you know, not making big plays with some 2-6 suited, you know what I'm saying? I could try to do that, but usually doesn't work out too good. Usually, okay, usually. I'm not gonna say all the time. Whatever. Okay, on to the next one, which I think is gonna be a bluff, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see here. All right. Oh yeah, this is a good one. So we had an 8-7 suited. Now I will say this, guys. You got to be bluffing. All right. I'm not saying you got to bluff all the time, but when you are gonna bluff, stick with it. You don't want to be checking on the turn. You kind of just giving it away, if that makes sense. You know, you wanna continue doing your thing, okay? And you can't just play ABC anymore. You have to open your game up, especially as you start moving up a little bit, playing against better opponents, and you know, really, um, bluffing is just it's a skill that the more you do it, the better you get at it, right? Anyways, I'm going to be opening here with an 8-7 suited on the button. If we get raised here, obviously we're going to make a call. Plus, we're so deep anyways that, like, I'm not going anywhere. If player 5 wants to kick it up to, like, you know, a 40 or 50 piece here, we're definitely going to defend, all right? Like, no doubt. But he didn't. He just called. You got to remember, I opened here. We got none of this, but I wasn't exactly ready to give up either because, you know, if we're going to open on the button, we could have a wide range of hands, but I'm still going to be targeting having like an ace X type of hand. Small continuation, 13 piece. He's going to make a call. Turn card, not really going to do a whole lot for us. But I'm not going to give up just yet. I wasn't ready to raise the white flag, if you know what I'm saying. I figured we could still try to go for this, which is what I'm going to do. I'm going to continue here with 38. Now, if he does have a pair of aces here, we're going to have to go much larger on the river to get him off this hand. If he's got like a weak ace. Really what I'm targeting here is him having a weak ace or maybe a pair of jacks. You know what I mean? So river card was a 9, which I think was a good card because I don't think that's going to give a lot of 2 pairs. So really we're targeting weak aces and, you know, jack X type hands. So really the only way to take this one down was go for like a pot size. And you guys got to remember, I was going for it on every street here. So I'm clearly representing a big hand at this point. We went for the 126 sizing. I like this sizing, and like I said, we're targeting weak aces like ace 6, ace 7, maybe like an ace 4, an ace deuce, or like jacks, jack 10 type of hands. But it worked out, you know, our play, the aggression, you know, we got it done right there. So, you know, but if I would have just checked that on the turn, I would have basically been raising the white flag, and then if I went for like a pot size on the river, wouldn't have made a whole lot of sense. So if you're going to bluff, my whole point here is stick with the bluff. If you think you can get somebody off of a hand, go for it. But also, you know, you should be bluffing. You don't want to just be playing in ABC style. Okay, Queen 7 folded this, didn't get involved with it, but, you know, I'll pat myself on the back for that 8-7 bluff. I did like it, for sure. All right, King Jack, pretty standard open here. I think we're going to go to 1250. I think player 1 made this call. If not, maybe everybody folded it, which is totally fine. No resistance. We took it down with the King Jack right there. 4-9 going to be folding it. But, like, I hope you guys are still with me because it's going to continue getting a lot better. We're kind of just ramping things up right now, basically. All right, back over to player 6. Putting in a button raise. And he takes it down. Okay. All right, back to us. Kings. All right. It's nice to see kings, huh? I think we kicked this up to like 40, a 42 piece, something like that. I might have gone a little bit larger. Let's see what I did. Oh no, I just went for straight 40. Figured this guy would make a call too, but when we hit the king here on the flop, I was definitely licking my lips a little bit, for sure. Now, I got a little bit sneaky with this, kind of like checking it. Turn card was a six, didn't really change a whole lot, but because I checked the flop, I figured if I put in a continuation here, it's going to look pretty bluffy. So he is going to call us. We're going to get to the river. Clearly, we would like to see the board pair, maybe like a 9, 5, or, I'll take like a deuce on the river too, something like that. You do have two flushes out there. We're blocking the clubs. So I'm not worried about the club draw because we have the king of clubs. So him having a flush here is very unlikely. I went for a 117 sizing. I actually went at it pretty quick here. He folded it, but if he did call us there, it wouldn't have really like shocked me because it did look kind of bluffy. All right, so a few hands later, we have ace king, kind of like where we've been, and this was. I mean, what do you do here, guys? Comment below on this one if you want, but like, what do you do, right? You got ace king. We're gonna open it up here to 1250. It's gonna come back to player six, who I think is gonna raise it. Now, player six has only got 240, 244 behind, and we're kind of up close to that for this. So, I just figured. I mean, we got ace king. What else are we gonna do here, right? He kicked it up to the min here, which I hate when people do that. But we've got ace king. It's either re-raise here, or we could just jam on him, and maybe he calls us with hands like ace queen, ace jack, those type of hands. Definitely feels like something like that. He could have some. Yeah, it didn't really feel like a mid pocket pair type of thing here. It felt like another ace X. But when player one kicked it up here to 75, I just felt like we only had one play to make here. Now I was hoping that player one didn't have aces or kings or something like that, but we are blocking those. So I don't know what player one was going for here, but I was definitely rooting for him to get out of the way. Player six is going to turn over jacks. Not a good flop. We're not dead, though. We could hit some straights. Straights are dead now, so we really needed an ace or a king. We didn't get it, so we took an L right there. It is what it is, guys. Don't really regret the play. It's just that's how it goes sometimes. All right, so basically down a 50 piece, and then we get 6-5. Now, to be fair, I was a little bit tilted, but not much. I mean, I wouldn't really say that was tilted, but I did get very aggressive on this next one. So I hope you guys are ready for it because we are about to see something right here. Okay, don't recommend doing this, but I kind of just went for it. Anyways, small blind, gonna open raise here, and it is what it is. It's not like we're suited. We got a 6-5 offsuit. Player four is going to raise us here. And normally this is just like a muck, but, after losing with ace king right there, I was like, you know what, let's see what happens, right? That's kind of what I was thinking. Now you could see I was thinking about raising this. Thinking about folding it, but then I came around to just making the call, and we are going to end up hitting a pair of fives. Hitting a pair of fives here. We also have runner cards for straights. We could hit some two pairs here. It's actually not a terrible flop, especially if this guy's got hands like ace king or ace queen, and that's kind of why I made this play, guys. Like, this was very reckless. I wouldn't normally do this, but I guess you could just say I wasn't a believer. The more you play this game, like, the more you start to just pick up on things, like, and I definitely felt like this guy had a couple overcards, And it could be anything. You could have a king queen suited, you could have an ace king, an ace queen. So I figured making this play is basically going to get it done here, right? That's kind of what I figured. But what totally surprised me was the call he's about to make. So he is going to call us, all right? And our instincts were right about what he was holding. I will say that. So we did actually have the correct read. But he is going to keep us honest here. And, you know, you can see he's letting the clock run down. Personally, I would not have made this call if I was this guy. I wouldn't have. But it's kind of funny because it's like we had him read and then he had us read, I guess. You know, in a way. All right, so he's going to turn over ace king. He was blocking the spade. We're just dodging an ace or a king. And guess what, guys? We did. So we took down a nice one there with a very weak hand. And that's just how it goes sometimes. But, you know, hope you guys enjoyed another one here. Like I said, man, check out the pinned comment, get in the community, subscribe if you haven't. Thanks for watching this. We'll see you in the next one.